Late summer 2023 garden tour. If you're familiar with Tennessee summers, you know that most of July and all of August is extremely hot and we don't get a whole lot of rain, which is very tough on perennials. But just a disclaimer. Temperatures have finally started to cool down in the day below 90 degrees, which is nice. So I've been able to start working on clearing up the weeds. Started here with my side garden. My little penstemon that I transplanted seems to be doing not too bad. The tug lilies that I planted didn't do much, but hopefully they have enough energy so they come back next year. Daylilies are still doing good. Bachelor button hasn't bloomed yet, but might have some luck still. My rose seems to be doing really well this year, so hopefully he'll take off and actually have flowers next year. Got most of the weeds pulled from the side of the house. I got my hoses organized a little bit. Took care of the weeds around the patio. Moved the stones back to where they belong. My magnolia doesn't seem to be doing so hot. I've already sprayed it twice this year for the mold, the fuzzy mildew, whatever you want to call it. But I'm gonna have to spray it again. Every year it gets this way. I just planted in a bad location, but overall not doing too bad. My redbud tree, it's really taken off. It had, I think, dieback disease earlier, and I trimmed off all the bad branches, and it has taken over. Let's see, this wildflower garden, I've got some blanket flower, tick seed, cosmos, and zinnia growing. And the morning glory and vines are pretty much taken over. I try to pull it out, but it's hard. They like climbing up all my cosmos and zinnia and snuffing them out. Gonna have to work more diligently to get them pulled before they take over. And I got more cosmos, reseeded itself, growing on the side of the path. Pentas are doing well. This is where I stop pulling weeds, so you'll be able to tell how badly the weeds take over here. And I'm starting to work at pulling them all out now. There's my pumpkin patch. I've already yielded like 4 pumpkins, but several of them were rotten, so I had to throw them away. But every time you had 4 pumpkin vines grown in this little patch here. But every time you cut off a pumpkin, another one grows in its place. So hopefully we'll have some good carving pumpkins for Halloween. My oak tree's not doing too bad. The butterfly bush still flowering and attracting butterflies. I think this is like the only perennial that actually is still flowering right now. A sunflower. Most of the heads are spent, so I'll probably cut them off and save them to reseed next year. My latanias are thriving, but it's been rough trying to keep all the other weeds and wildflowers from taking them over. Oh, by the way, all these weeds in the middle of the path, that's Bermuda grass. It grows really nice if you want a beautiful lawn, but if you have any landscaping, it will take over. I hate Bermuda grass. I will never, ever, ever, ever plant it again. See, look, there's a pumpkin right there. Let's see. This is, I don't know if this is a variety of zinnia or what, but it is so pretty. Got one growing there, another one growing here. My Miss Kim lilac, I don't know why her leaves get burnt so bad in the late summer, early fall. I keep trying to water her, and I'll have to do some research online, figure out what I can do to help her. Man, zinnias are so pretty. I mean, cosmos are nice, but they grow so tall, and they just take over. I don't think I'm going to do cosmos again next year. I do like the sunflower. I love the zinnias. Not sure if I'm a huge fan of cosmos anymore. Got a lot of weeds here to clear out. Like I said, it is so hot in the summer. It's really hard to get outside and do any kind of landscaping whatsoever. So this little video is kind of a before and shows you how much it takes over. The weeds do. This dahlia seems to be doing okay, not the best. Get close. Oh boy, this shrub here needs seriously to be cut back. It is growing like crazy. Boxwood, that's what it is. Let's see, we got my penstemons, Bermuda grass taking over. Looks like we got some spider mites making some webs in my baptisia, but they're pretty much done, so I can cut them back. Tiger lilies are done. They're just gathering fuel for next year. Yeah, these baptisias I need to cut back. And this basket, you can tell it has seriously shows the effects of our drought that we've had. But it was very pretty. Got some bachelor buttons here. I hope they reseed and come back next year. Now my weighellas, my white flowered weigella has just thrived this year. My wine and roses look really bad. I don't know if they're just done and I'll have to cut it back to the ground, if they'll survive or not, but they look really bad. Especially this one. See, I don't know if you can tell. Looks horrible. There's my dahlia. Like, I'm not sure that will come at. Dahlias are not supposed to be perennial in Tennessee because the ground gets too cold. But this one here, apparently, I planted the roots deep enough and it survived. And it keeps coming back and looks beautiful when I'm able to deadhead it. But I don't know. When our neighbor got internet, they had to dig his stuff up. They dug this up and put it back. Not sure if it'll come again next year. In this garden here, we've got a lot of primrose, mygwara. We've got a lot of butterfly weed and echinacea. I'm trying to increase the echinacea and the butterfly weed. So just those, the primrose, the guara, echinacea, and butterfly weed. That's all I want in this side garden right here. The birds or somebody has helped me. I got some volunteer butterfly weed right here. It was actually flowering not that long ago. See, look, got more butterfly weed. It has gone everywhere. It'll be so pretty once this garden fills out with those 4 native prairie plants. It'll be so pretty. But right now, pretty much the only thing that's still flowering is the guara. There's a little Tennessee echinacea plant that I put in here. I know it's the end of the season. I planted it late, so I just pray to God that it'll come back next year. But here's a little path that I'm starting to make. Next spring, I'm going to continue it all the way through here with them butterfly pavers and fill it in with this gravel here. I mean, I don't get a whole lot of growth when it comes to the grass here. All I get pretty much is weeds. So that's why I'm going to fill it in, put a little path through here, make it look a little bit more aesthetically pleasing. But I've started. This is what it's going to look like throughout when I'm done. This basket here. What's funny is this little viney thing that's growing out of the side. That was part of a basket that I put in last year, and it came back. So I'm trying to leave it in there because I think it just looks really pretty. Let's see, here's my tree garden. I got so much columbine coming up. I love those flowers. They're so pretty. It's like my phlox is doing a little okay. Not a whole lot. So I got some phlox right there and right there. Every year it grows a little bit more. The spiderwort has pretty much, it's done, but it'll come back next year. This basket here is showing the signs of our drought. But this guy here, I can probably transplant him and bring him in the house as a house plant because they like that. My irises, they are late bloomers. But hopefully we'll have something because I see stuff coming up. If not, I'll get flowers next year. Now, here's my Rose of Sharon garden. My hostas are showing the signs of the heat and the drought. Rose of Sharon's still not too bad. Didn't get a whole lot of blooms from her this year, but she's still very green. From my annuals that I got, this orange guy, the purple petunias, they're done, but the white and the red and the blue have done pretty well. Then I've got my sage / salvia. That's a perennial. My gardenia seems to be doing really well too. And that's it.